All right, guys, as promised, we're filming more cooking videos to show how easy it can be to cook. The goal here isn't to be fancy. It's to show all of you who are slightly afraid of the kitchen that you don't have to be scared. And like you asked last time, I have Adam to film me right now. So that makes it significantly easier. We're gonna start with one of my favorite breakfast options, avocado toast. Once again, I'm moving. I've never cooked in this kitchen before. I don't have a toaster, so we're gonna kind of improvise this. We're starting out with a little bit of...
Uh-oh.
No, there we go. That's not the one I want. There we go. We're just starting out with sliced sourdough, and I'm actually gonna do just a drop of this in the pan. And
I don't recommend
it's hot.
Putting your hand on a hot pan.
Don't do this. If you're gonna do it before you start.
Forehead.
I cook a lot and my hands are very callous.
That's a terrible excuse.
My wife makes fun of me for burning my hands, cutting my hands all the time. But don't be afraid of cooking. All right, so we just have a little olive oil. That's the one time I don't measure it because it's literally less than a teaspoon. I'm gonna put these down since I don't have a toaster. Just let them toast in there. I just burned off my arm hair. Again, don't be afraid of cooking. While those toast.
So you're supersetting a making of avocado toast with bites of an apple.
It makes sense, right? I get 2 apples a day during the challenge.
Look at those biceps.
We're not going to cut this because we want to prove to you guys how fast it can be. So sorry if it gets awkward. I'm going to flip it a few times just to make sure I don't burn it because I just want a little crisp. I do not want the toast to burn. Adam in the challenge, if this was my post-workout meal and we weren't going to show this, how many of these skinny slices of sourdough do you think I could have?
2 to 4. It's a pretty, people I think sometimes can either underestimate or underestimate bread, but a standard slice of bread is anywhere from 20 to 25 grams of carbohydrates. Smaller slices or thinner slices can be as low as 10 to 15 grams. So on training days, we're really trying to make sure that we are eating as much as possible while still losing fat. So you don't want to cut those carbs so low because if you cut your carbs so low, training performance will drop. So we're trying to make sure that we eat enough carbs to help with training performance, to help with hunger, to help psychologically so you don't cut out all the stuff that you love, and to have just enough variety in your diet that you can truly enjoy. So don't be afraid of the carbs. Carbs are not the problem.
And again,
delicious.
just so everyone's aware, this is a giant slowdown. Normally, this sourdough would be in a toaster while we're using the pan to cook something else, but I've explained we're in the middle of a move. I don't have everything in this kitchen. I basically have this pan and that's it. So we're proving that you can make do with pretty limited stuff.
We call this a man, a pan, a plan.
Okay, see, that's now getting to the point where you have a little brown and it's not bending anymore. So that's what we want. We don't want it too crisp. And now we're going to turn this down.
It's a good idea.
As I learn how to use it. There.
Operation Don't Burn Down the Home.
We're turning that one off. And we're going to go as low. We're going to go to about midway, but that pan is super hot. And one tip I'll give you is don't cook your eggs on a super hot pan unless you want not great eggs.
Another cooking tip, use the ventilation or open a window.
Adam and I just inhaled a lot of gas. That's okay though. All right.
What's the calorie content of gas?
Burns them. All right, now we're gonna do the eggs.
This camera guy sneeze.
We're still really professional even when we have two. Okay, now that we're doing the eggs, we're back to my old school way. See, that's 1 tablespoon. This pan is still really hot. You can see by the way the oil's dancing. So we're still gonna let it cool down quite a bit. We have a little breadcrumbs in there that are burned. We're not gonna worry about it because we're trying to prove that you can do this quickly.
Added flavor.
And we'll just clean that. Yeah, see, we're actually gonna come completely off the heat because this stove is really hot. Now, we're gonna throw in 2 eggs. Normally, I would put these in a bowl and whisk them, but I'm going to show you that if you move fast enough, you don't need to do that. We're really hot. That pan was too hot. So when the pan's too hot, you want to not let the eggs sit. Because if the eggs sit, they're gonna burn. So it becomes a job where you're just constantly moving to keep them from ending up really, really burned. Okay, there's our eggs. See that? Because the pan was so hot, that was extremely fast. We're gonna put everything on this paper plate because again, we're moving and we have absolutely no dishes in this house.
Spy an avocado.
What?
I spy an avocado.
The avocado's coming shortly. Okay.
I just want to let you know I am a terrible videographer.
You're what?
I'm a terrible videographer. One could argue.
You may be worse than me alone, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying. I think this is actually a downgrade in performance. What are you doing now, Chef Ketchel?
All right, so each egg has about 6 grams of protein.
Accurate.
We're gonna want to up our protein. So.
And if you're not eating the entire yolk, fun fact, the white is about 3 grams.
I only eat whole eggs. These are chicken sausages. They have 12 grams of protein per sausage. Again, you'll notice I didn't measure that time. That's because I did less olive oil than I normally would use. And I'm trying to do it fast. If you have a heavy hand, measure every single time. If you have a slight idea of how to deal with it, don't worry about it. All right, so now we have an avocado that will finally get to do some multitasking here. You split an avocado in half. If you've never done this before, just put the knife into the pit, turn the pit's out. We'll get that in the trash once we find a trash can. And we're gonna cut it. You may notice we have one bowl here, but that's for the salad we're gonna make after this. So I'm gonna show you how I cut these into small pieces so that you don't need to really mash them once you put them on the bread. We're cooking, everything's going well.
Did anyone ever tell you that your fridge matches the color of your eyes?
It's so sweet of you, I think. Okay, we have our avocados prepped. To spice this avocado toast up, we're gonna throw a couple of tomatoes on top. Some really quick slicing.
What type of tomatoes do you like getting?
I typically buy cherry tomatoes.
A lot of different tomato varieties.
Grape tomatoes, because I find quartering them like this goes great in a salad, goes great on avocado toast like we're about to make. They're just easier to cut, and I'm able to use all of them, which when I buy bigger tomatoes, I find I end up wasting. So that's all we really need for this. We save the rest for the salad we're gonna make next. Let's flip these. Normally I would have tongs and all of this would be slightly easier. Once again, we're proving that even in the middle of a house move, you can cook. We're just trying to get a little brown on both sides because like most sausages, these sausages come fully cooked. So I'm gonna jack up that temperature a little bit.
Do a little sear.
And okay. Once again, excuse us, these are all sustainable paper plates. I'm not moved into my house. As you can see, the bread is a little stiffer. We are going to take the avocados. We're going to I'm using my hands because we don't have literally anything in this house. And as you can see, I'm just squeezing the avocado out. And since it's already diced inside the shell, you get a shell. It's not a shell. What is it? Peel? I don't know what it is. Whatever it is, you get
The outside.
you get a good. We're gonna hit it. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. This salt on this one. As you can see, I really want carbs right now.
He's been complaining about carbs, you guys. We had to walk to the store because he had nothing here, and he was really grumpy.
Okay, so now we've got eggs on there. Again, Adam and I are cooking a few meals, so we're not really doing as much as we might normally do here. That's okay. Hitting it with a little more pepper on the egg. You do that as much as you feel like you need. Now, if we wanted, we could cut these up. We're not going to. Don't touch things like I do with your hand.
There's about 17 different violations I've noticed.
So typically I try to make things prettier when I'm making them for my wife, but this is for me and Adam. And it's literally just protein. And that's it. How long did it take?
15 minutes.
That's what I'm talking about. That's a complete meal in 15 minutes. And let's see.
First bite, this guy really wants his carbs. No one said it was going to be clean.
It's good. It's really good.